Good morning, Sean Rochester here for 5 Reasons Sports, bringing you the video side of my 5 keys for tonight. Heat against the Bucks, the rare must-win in October for, well, maybe some of us, but obviously the storyline is going to be the Dame Lillard Heat. The trade that never became what everyone and even Dame probably would say he wanted. So, looking at the 5 keys, Heat come in 1-2, desperately looking for a win. Tough place to play. One of the best teams in the East. The Bucks played last night, although they lost to the Atlanta Hawks. So the problem that we've seen consistently throughout all 3 games has been the Heat offense. And through 3 games, the Heat are in the bottom 5 of offensive rating, effective field goal percentage, and offensive rebounding percentage. The first 2 are the most concerning because it was something that we thought would be a problem, and it definitely is a problem so far. Besides taking the ball, they don't do a whole lot very well on offense, to be honest with you. It's been a problem really every game in terms of efficiency and scoring, and they're just not good enough defensively right now to win games with this type of offense. The Bucks also struggle on defense, and I think that's partially, the Dame element as opposed to Drew Holiday, but also just trying to fit pieces together and figure things out with a new coach also. They're bottom 3 in defensive rating and effective field goal percentage. So could it possibly be that, maybe the Heat get a little bit of a boost because they're playing against a team that isn't very good defensively right now? Is it small sample size? Giannis and Brook Lopez obviously are going to cause some problems, and we'll talk about them later. But where are the Heat going to find offense? Is it going to be Tyler Hero becomes more efficient? Are other guys going to step up? Will we get some guys back from injury today? Who knows? But we need to be better on that end of the floor. And I think that's going to start. My second key is the mid-range. The Heat are very much dependent on the mid-range right now. A lot of that is, you think about our roster, Tyler Hero likes to shoot those. Jimmy likes to shoot those. Bam finally starts to shoot a lot of those. The Heat lead the league in mid-range attempts. Almost 45% of their attempts come from the mid-range. However, they're bottom 5 in accuracy in that range. The first name you're going to think of is Tyler Hero. He has not shot the ball well for most of the season so far. I think he's a better shooter than that. Can he do it consistently? And can he do it at a high volume with efficiency? And that's not an easy thing to do, even for a young guard that's as talented as Tyler Hero. Can Jimmy get involved more? He was not really involved on Friday. He didn't play on Saturday. Can Bam get more? Can we get other guys getting attempts outside of just, in the lane and threes? In the Bucks' philosophy, kind of carrying over from Budenholzer, they give up a lot of mid-range attempts. Okay, they're going to try to protect the rim. They're going to try to protect the arc. They want you to force those mid-range shots. So I think you're going to see a lot of those. Will the Heat make them is going to be the question. Third one, now the defensive side of the floor. The Heat, known for having a defensive identity. Basically for 20 years, they've been in the top 10 of defensive rating. So far this year, not so much. Injuries can be part of that. But can you defend tonight without fouling? Because you're going against guys like Giannis and Dame who are elite at drawing fouls. Chris Middleton, when he plays, also very good at drawing fouls. All 3 of those guys are somewhere between 15 and 20% of their attempts result in a foul, which is difficult. It's hard to defend elite talent at a high level, but then also not foul. And you just can't, you can't sag off of these guys because they're going to just kill you in a lot of different ways. It's one of those things where I think that the Bucks so far, their offense hasn't been clicking, but it's only a matter of time. They're just too talented. So giving them free throws is not going to help the effort of limiting the Bucks offense. Fourth key, Jimmy Butler. I hate to call Jimmy out, and I know people are upset. It's October. We have to keep that in mind. We know how Jimmy coasts through the season sometimes. But can we get an engaged Jimmy Butler? Not just offense where he's taking attempts and he's being involved in creating offense, but defensively. When Brady Hawk has talked about this. You see him flying around in passing lanes. That's when you know Jimmy is engaged. We need that tonight. We go as far as Jimmy goes. It's a simple truth. And unfortunately, we don't have the supporting cast, the supporting talent to have Jimmy just coasting through the regular season if we don't want to have a regular season similar to last year. We know we can turn it on when the playoffs start, but we got to get to the playoffs in order to do that. And it sounds like the same song and dance that we were singing last year. And then my last one, rebounds and turnovers. You're going to have this in any game. We're a 5-point dog right now in Vegas. You have to find advantages somewhere to overcome that talent or maybe that disadvantage that you're on the road against a good team. Miami's been good at taking care of the ball. That's been one advantage that we've had in almost every game. We're also forcing turnovers. So you're starting to create an advantage in matchups or in possessions in that circumstance. Rebounding. Probably not the way you're going to get an advantage against the much, much, much bigger Milwaukee Bucks, but can you compete on that? Can you make the margin of offensive rebounding or the rebounding advantage as a whole as minimal as possible so that you're not giving them extra opportunities? Because if you're turning the ball over, if you're giving them second chances, they're very good offensive rebounding in terms of getting points off of putbacks, second chance opportunities. You can't do that. You have to be able to box out. Big Kevin Love game tonight, Big Bam Adebayo game tonight. Everybody collectively has to rebound because you're giving them too many opportunities on second chances rebounding. I just don't think you have a chance to win. And if you don't take care of the basketball, especially live ball turnovers, that's the one thing. We've had a good offensive game against Detroit. When they turned it over, we got live ball opportunities and we scored. The other games where teams are not turning the ball over heavily, that's where offense has struggled. Appreciate you tuning in.